beautiful people. It's Wednesday, so it's Wednesday debut. Hope you guys have been doing great. I've been doing I've been doing okay. I'm so used to saying I've been doing amazing. So yeah, either way, I've been doing okay. Yeah, I'm really sorry I haven't been able to do videos for a while, like for a really long time. I'm really sorry I've missed you guys. I know you've missed me too. I bet you missed me. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I've had some two issues that I've had to deal with. I'll talk about them like later on in the show. Yeah, but I've had things that I've had to deal with, and then like this video that I'm supposed to do today, I had recorded it back in the beginning of March, and then I deleted it because I didn't feel it was okay, or like yeah, I just didn't want to upload it. So yeah, but anyway, here we are, and I'm doing it again because I really wanted to talk about depression. Today I'm going to talk about depression, like really dig into it. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, and yeah, if you haven't, please do. If you have, please continue sharing and helping people understand more about mental health issues and how they work and how to help them out. Yeah, so depression. The reason why I wanted to talk about depression first of all was because personally I've experienced depression like a bit more. Yeah, I've experienced a little bit of depression, not a little bit, like I have experienced it, and it's one of the reasons I haven't been able to shoot videos for this period of time that I've been off. Yeah, so yeah, that's why I wanted to do a video of it, to like just give people more insight on how people who are going through depression behave. They don't have to be sad or cry all the time, cry in front of people for you to know that this person is going through depression. Like you see, depression can be described as a serious disorder marked by disturbance in mood, cognition, physiological and psychological and sociological functionings. It disturbs your normal functioning, and people can experience like deep sadness and a feeling of hopelessness and sorrow and emptiness or despair, either of the ones that I've listed. So you see, the most major thing when people hear about depression is that somebody is sad, somebody's feeling low, somebody's not okay. You see, that's the most like obvious, or the most thing, like major thing that comes to your mind when you talk about depression. So today I want to like kind of dig deeper and talk about the causes, the types, and the warning signs, and how to help a person going through depression. Because I have talked about depression when I was talking about bipolar, and then I was talking about borderline personality. Yes. So the causes, there I have like three major causes. It would be like situations that you're in, your biological like well-being, and your cognitive well-being. So in situations, we could talk about abuse and bullying, because most of the time people who have been abused, who have been bullied, tend to fall into depression because they're feeling worthless, or they're feeling low, or they're feeling just like they don't deserve whatever they're getting. Neglect, like when you talk about neglect, we can say like when this person has been neglected by friends, by family, or while they were growing up they were neglected by their parents, you see. So such scenarios can cause a person to be depressed. Such situations, grief and loss, these are usually the major causes of depression, because most of the time people fall into depression because they feel um, loss. I actually believe like loss and grief, they are the major reasons as to why a person will, because kupoteza msee, whether it was lost through death, it was lost through breakups, it was lost through an accident, it was a loss of job, like you lose your job, you lose your wife, you lose something, hata ukipoteza simu, you fall into depression. For people like us who the most minimal of things will cause us to fall into depression. Yeah, poor social networks. For some people with mostly people with social anxiety will fall into depression if the situation in their social network is not working for them. So they'll fall into depression and start like wakijiuliza, they question themselves a lot about their social networks and everything. Yes, the biological factors would be hormonal factors. Hormonal factors, we would talk about the hormones that supply us with feelings of happiness, feelings of hopefulness, you see. Yeah. So if your hormones are imbalanced, sometimes this usually happens mostly for the ladies when they are about to go through their menstrual cycles. They at times fall into depression because their hormones are imbalanced. Yes. Genetic factors and also the chemical imbalance in the brain. So at times if there's a chemical imbalance in the brain, you might fall into depression. Yes. Genetic factors, when I talk about genetic factors, it has been said that depression and some of the other mental health issues can be passed down through genes. Like for example, if your parent, your dad, your mom had depression, you might get depression, or your child might get depression. Yes. So let's talk about the cognitive. Perfectionism. If you're a perfectionist, you might fall into depression. Distortion, as in black and white, like it's either it's right or it's wrong. So if you fall into an in-between, then you fall into depression. Low self-esteem and low self-worth. If you don't see yourself as worthy, or you have low self-esteem, you tend to fall into depression if things aren't working out the way, if you aren't feeling worthy, if you aren't feeling like you deserve stuff, if you aren't feeling like this needs to happen. You see, you get my point. Yes. Body image issues. If you don't see yourself as pretty, or you feel like you're too fat or you're too skinny, I've used the exact words that people use when body shaming people. That is something that I'll talk about sometime soon. But yeah, body image issues can cause a person to fall into depression. So like if you're so insecure about your body image and a person comes and calls out like, yo, hey, and say, then you'll fall into depression and start questioning your worth. Yeah. So the types of depression. We have psychotic depression, which is characterized by depressive episodes which come with hallucinations, delusions, and being catatonic. So this type of depression, it usually comes mostly like when a person is experiencing psychosis. So like a person will get depressed, and their depression will come with a little bit of like you start hallucinating, seeing things that aren't there. And whenever you get such a situation, you should see a psychiatrist about it so that you can get help, because you'll maybe start hearing things that aren't there or seeing things that aren't there. Yeah. We have postpartum depression. It occurs in new mothers after giving birth. Normally, it's characterized by a sense of disconnection and fear of hurting their babies. So when a mother has given birth, they at times feel disconnected with the child. Like they don't want, it's not that they don't want the child, they just fear like they want to be good mothers, or they want to be able to do whatever they're required. So they disconnect themselves and get into depression. Yes. We have situational depression. This is caused by a life-changing situation when something unexpected happens, such as death of a loved one or losing a job. Ndio nilikuwa nasema like kuna situations zenye zinaweza cause depression, you see. Yes. We have the SAD, seasonal affective disorder. It occurs due to lack of natural sunlight. During winter, this occurs mostly to people who are sensitive to light. Yeah, there's that type of depression for people who are sensitive to light. So when they don't get enough like natural sunlight, they fall into depression. Yes. We have dysthymia. It is characterized by persistent low moods that last longer than a period of time. Many people just like describe it as living on autopilot. Like you just experience a long time of depression, a long time you're just feeling depressed, and yeah. And then there's major depression. Experience like recurrent forms of depression throughout their lives, in that itakuja iende, like see, it's not something constant, it's not something that will happen for, it might happen for a short while, then happen again, and yeah. So the warning signs are they lose their appetite. One, they'll either lose their appetite or gain more appetite to eat. I'm sorry about the kids, I'm really sorry about them. I had done this video earlier and then ipati kajidelete, so I'm sorry. Yes, so yeah, they either lose their appetite, in that they awakuli completely, ama they eat a lot. Yes. They're more quieter than usual. This is usually, it is usually noticeable with people who are talkative, who talk a lot. They tend to like just go quiet, and they no longer talk to people as much as they used to. And yeah, they no longer talk to people as much as they used to. You talk to them and they're just like, okay. Yeah. They most of the time want to be alone. Most of the time people with depression want to be alone. They just want to feel whatever they're feeling on their own without people like questioning them, and they're like, yo, what's wrong? Is everything fine? What's happening? You see? Yeah. They struggle to keep up with a conversation or engage in one, because you see, a person with depression tends to think a lot. So you'll be talking to them and then their mind just drifts to something that happened, something that they're thinking about, and yeah. They use the excuse I'm tired a lot, because like they don't do stuff. You see, like when you start to get depressed, there is like you start being tired. It's how should I describe this? You start getting tired because of like you're mentally exhausted, emotionally exhausted. So anything that affects you mentally or emotionally, it will eventually affect you physically. So that's why they tend to like, they actually, it's not even an excuse, it's something that is actually true. Like they're actually tired. They're tired of thinking, they're tired of feeling, they're just tired. They just want to be. So you tell them like, you should do this, and they're like, no, I'm just tired, I don't feel like doing it today. You should do this, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah. And then they, at times people with depression will be termed as lazy, because you see, when a person, like I've just said previously, a person with depression, they they usually just don't like, they not that they don't like, they would love to do all the stuff that they're supposed to do, but then they can't, because all they want to do is just lay in bed and do absolutely nothing, just curl up like a ball, and just stay there. They don't like, so like they just stay there and they don't do much, maybe watch something, and when they watch something sad. Yeah. And they also procrastinate a lot, in that they tend to postpone most of the things that they're supposed to do. You find like they're supposed to do an assignment and they're like, no, today I don't feel like doing it, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow gets like, tomorrow in Africa, and they're like, no, just this, I'm supposed to wash my clothes, there's a heap there, and then you're like, I'll do them tomorrow, and then you continue doing them tomorrow until like it's a whole pile, you see. So people with depression tend to, they don't, it's not usually something that you can see up front, like usimse mwenye utaiona tu hivi like ati umse ako depressed. At times people with depression will smile and they laugh. It doesn't have to be sad, this person doesn't have to be gloomy. They'll smile, they'll laugh with you, they'll crack so many jokes, and then when they get home they get into their zone. For me, at times inakuanga like I'm happy. I don't know if it happens for you guys. Maybe it's a normal thing, I don't know, but it's usually like I'm happy, I'm super happy, and then I decide I'm taking this really really amazing pics, and I know I'm going to look so dope and I'm going to look so nice, and then I don't know, there's just this kid thing that slaps you, and then you're just down. And I most of the time it usually lasts like 2-3 days, 4 days, and then I recover. If I find a distraction, even better. So people with depression, like we tend to find so many distractions. For me, distraction number one is usually music, and at times music makes me more depressed, so I find another distraction. Yeah, do a film or something constructive, something that will keep your mind off it. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys today. I'll dig deeper into how to help a person with depression, and how to help yourself when you're going through depression, coping methods and coping mechanisms and everything. Yeah, so yeah, all I can say today is just like, you do what you have to do to make you happy. You don't owe your happiness to anyone, so you do what you have to do. Be safe, protect your mental health at all costs. Yeah, and check up on each other as always. I always repeat this: check up on each other and just try to find out how that neighbor of yours is doing, how that friend of yours is doing. Yeah, we all need each other eventually at the end of the day. Yeah, so share the videos, comment if you have a comment, say whatever you feel like, whatever makes you feel comfortable, and yeah, be blessed. Bye.